Hallo miteinander, I'm Gesh and this is Suika riding a giant mutant space rat and attacking the rebel forces from Star Wars. Sounds like something she would do, wouldn't it? She also has Winston Zedmore, one-armed Winston Zedmore at her side, but, he's not gonna be much help. But this is not actually what this video is about. Somewhere around, I think, the second episode of the Grief Syndrome Let's Play, I reached the 100 subscriber mark, and it's kind of a tradition on YouTube to make subscriber specials at sensible milestones. So this is going to be the first one I do. And the question is, what sensible things do you do on subscriber specials? The answer, pretty much none. So let's have something that doesn't represent my channel at all. Something that I thought long and hard on what to do, and what I ended up with is, on Socks Make People Sexy forum, a few people showed off their game collections a while ago, and that is what we're gonna do. I'm going to show you, not my complete game collection. Instead, I settled for showing you my Super Nintendo games. I don't have that many Super Nintendo games, but enough. But the Super Nintendo, it was that one console where I really got into gaming. Before, I played video games when I was bored, but with the 16-bit era, it became a journey, an adventure for me to play these games. And so I really have a lot of thoughts kind of linked with them, so I'll be able to tell you something about them. And I really liked that about these collection videos that I mentioned before, that you see these games and you think to yourself, oh, I know this game, or never seen this game before, I wonder what it's about. So maybe I can wake up that emotion in you and make this worthwhile. We'll see. You'll be the judge of that. So the first game that we want to start with is one where I don't have the box. It is, Illusion of Time. There, focus. This is actually called Illusion of Gaia outside of Europe. We changed it for some reason, and this is actually the second Soul Blazer game by Enix and Quintet, and it's part of the Quintet quintology. But it's not actually my favorite game of that quintology. By the way, it's an action RPG, pretty good one. So I bought this from a friend, by the way, that's why I don't have any box. Next up is one that pretty much everyone knows, Super Mario World. I mean, this game is very famous. I mean, it has so many ROM hacks and all that stuff, and I like it a lot. But I don't think it's in my top 5. Next up is the last one without a box, a kind of obscure one, Vortex. This is, I think, the third game that utilized the Super FX chip. I think it's also the one that people appreciated the least. In this game, you control a shape-changing mecha, and you do missions and beat pretty open levels in it. I think why people don't like it is because the mission objectives are a little bit cryptic. It's a little bit hard to figure out where you have to go and what you have to do. I didn't get into it all that much, but I think it's alright all in all. Now we're gonna have some nice boxes that are, for some parts, in pretty bad shape, but they're very old. This game, this is a great one. This is a very charming game and definitely in my top 5 of Super Nintendos. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. This game has just such a nice art style. The controls are just so fun, and you gotta admit that Baby Mario is a little bit annoying, but it doesn't kill the game. It doesn't kill it at all. It's still great fun and just an amazing game. I like this much more than Mario World. Oh, the next one you definitely know. Well, I hope you know at least. Black Hawk. And yes, it's true. Blackthorn was called Black Hawk in European countries for some reason. But yeah, cinematic platformer. I've pretty much told you all I could tell you about it in my Let's Play of it. And yeah, it's a really good game. Really tense game with a strong atmosphere. Very good. We have one of the Donkey Kong Country games by Rare. I think it was called Rareware already at that time. But yeah, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. This is the one that, of the trilogy, people like the least. And I think it's because of the, well, kind of generic art style of the game. And really, it's not nearly as good as the previous two in that regard. But I think the gameplay is really solid. I think even that by level design, it's better than Donkey Kong Country 1. But that is just me. We have a racing game next, Super Mario Kart. This game is pretty fun. I'm not a huge racing fan. I even like Mario Kart 64 a little bit more than this. But that's just my taste. What I do think is really cool at this game is, for example, the battle mode. I think this was a step towards making combat racing games like, you know, Twisted Metal more popular. Pretty sure a lot of games in that regard took a bit of inspiration from that. So yeah, Mario Kart, also a classic. Not much else to say about it. Also not much else to say about this game. Toy Story. We've been over this game in a lot of detail in my Let's Play, and yeah, Toy Story, game with a lot of variety, very good, very underrated, and yeah, a good licensed game. Who would have thunk? This was a very, I did a very early Let's Play of this game, Super Adventure Island 2, pretty much Zelda 2 with Master Higgins. Solid game. I like it quite a lot. Apart from that, it's also a game that went pretty unnoticed, it seems to me. Oh, now I've got a lot of things to say about this game. This is a realistic soccer simulation on the Super Nintendo, International Superstar Soccer Deluxe. Now the game, don't get me wrong, it's alright in what it is. I mean, got good mechanics and all that, but you know, it's really weird that I would get a soccer game, a realistic one at that. I think I know why I did that. I think I got this game because I wanted to get jocks in my class to actually get into video games. What a silly idea that was. Really, don't do that. So yeah, I bought this game even though I wasn't even a soccer fan, and I still not really am much of a soccer fan. We've got a very crazy game coming up, so yeah. Kid Clown and Crazy Chase. It's gotta be crazy if it has crazy in the title, you know. I made someone play this game on the Socks Make People Sexy forum. You know who you are if you see this. This game, pretty cool. It's a Kemco game, and Kemco games are sometimes very hard to define, you know. For example, the Crazy Castle series, how can you define those games? And Kid Clown, it's a racing platformer, I guess, kind of. Yeah, it's a game that you can check out if you're curious. It's pretty good. I like it. It's very short though. Not so short as this one. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Now, all in all, I like Zelda games a lot, but they're not among my favorites. This game might be in my top 5, I'm not quite sure, of Super Nintendo games. But yeah, I think something that I did about this game, I was very young when I played it, and I played it completely one by one by walkthrough. And I'm not sure if that was the right or the wrong thing to do. A lot of you might say that it was the wrong thing to do, that you shouldn't play a game like this in that manner. But, you know, I was a very stupid child, and I think I would have just gotten frustrated and fed up with it. Because Zelda: A Link to the Past, it's got pretty tough dungeons, honestly. Oh, now we only have 3 games left, and these are the big box ones. Let's take another look at these guys. The big box ones, you know, there were some games that I'm not sure if other countries did that, but in Germany, sometimes games came with strategy guides included in the Super Nintendo era. And apparently people thought those were necessary to complete them, but it was just nice to have them. Just have them included in the price. It was just cool. And these 3 big box games are my absolute favorites on the system. Number 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to start with the absolute pinnacle of Super Nintendo gaming. It is legendary. It is Super Metroid. If you are a kid of the 90s and you play this game for the first time, your mind was blown. You had never seen anything like it. I think even if you played PC games, no game felt like this. I mean, Super Metroid, just super thick atmosphere. Everything is so gritty and dangerous. It is indescribable. It's just a completely new feeling, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. Yeah, that's a really good way to sum it up. Super Metroid, absolute classic. I love it. My second favorite is Secret of Evermore, and this may be a surprise to many. How would you like this game more than Secret of Mana? And my answer is because it's darker, it's grittier. Yes, I know that it's very goofy at times, but all in all, I think this game really hits the mark with how it feels. It's an action RPG if you don't know. I think pretty much everyone knows what this game is. And yeah, Secret of Evermore, I also really like the story. It's I don't think a lot of people like the story, but I think it's very unusual to have this kind of setting that this game has. And the third one, number 3, is considered a hidden gem by many nowadays. Terranigma. This game is so obscure because it only came out in Europe and Japan, I think. Not in North America, I'm sure about that. And Terranigma is another game of the Quintet Quintology, and it's the game that I like more than even Illusion of Time. And yeah, Terranigma, this game is so interesting to me because it feels so huge. I mean, the story is that you're pretty much trying to recreate a completely dead and barren world, and that just seems so huge to me. Like the biggest quest that mankind has ever seen, if you want. And yeah, because of that, Terranigma just was on an extremely epic scale to me and just felt really grand because of that. So, this was my Super Nintendo collection. Not a big one, but I think one that was worth showing off. But as I said, this is for you to decide. Now, I actually do have 2 parts for this special lined up. And this has a certain reason that I'm going to explain in the second part. But for now, I'm going to say bis gleich.